Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Saturday morning live show, streaming live from Vienna, Austria. I am Sister Vassa of Coffee with Sister Vassa, fame or infamy, depending on how you look at it. A happy feast to you, New Calendar people, by the way, because according to the new calendar, today you are celebrating the great feast of the Nativity of the Theotokos. And those of us on, wait a second, we do have the icon of that great feast. So, Chronia Pola to you, this is the day, the birthday of Mary, the most holy Virgin and Mother of God. Her parents, Saints Joachim and Anna, as many of you will know, were shamed for most of their marriage for that which was considered a sign of God's displeasure that they had no children. Being childless, I'm realizing my friend Juliet over here, Juliet, my assistant, is here and noticing with me that I don't think anybody's with us so far. So I'm talking to myself. It's not a problem, actually. At my age, I have noticed that I tend to do that anyway. In case anybody feels awkward about that, don't worry. I could just take the meds and we'll all be okay. Juliet is chuckling. That's what she gets paid for, to laugh at my jokes. So I'm telling the story, everybody, of the Nativity of the Theotokos, needlessly really, because we have a video, a Coffee with Sister Vassa video. Hi, Ami. She's saying hello to you as well, Juliet. Juliet spells Juliet with two L's, just to be different, but she really does. It's a fun fact. Ami's here, and I'm glad to see you, Ami. We have a video, an old Coffee with Sister Vassa video on YouTube. If you look for Saints Joachim and Anna, you will find the story of that couple. But I just wanted to say a few words, since New Calendar people are celebrating the feast, about the Kontakion of the feast. I wrote a reflection about it today, but some of you might not follow those reflections for some reason unknown to human beings. Irene K is with us. Hi, from Greece, Sister Vassa and Juliet. Ah, she spelled your name correctly with two L's. It's almost, I couldn't make myself do it for a while because something inside of me, the pedant, was protesting against this spelling of Juliet, but she finally broke me. You have to watch out for this one. She's she can be very persuasive. She's sort of like the boss behind the scenes around here. But anyway, I won't complain to you about it today. My friends, we're going to discuss just briefly the Kontakion of this great feast of the Theotokos, celebrated by New Calendar people today. By the way, older calendar people are also celebrating a feast of the Theotokos, very big, at least in the Russian Orthodox world, because it's the feast for us. Before I get to the Kontakion, I'm sorry to torture you with this long and incoherent introduction, but, I aim to amuse you people. Here, I will show you, this is the Vladimir icon of the Mother of God, very beloved, I think, in the entire world, not just in the Russian Orthodox world. This icon on this day, which according to our church's calendar is August 26th, even though it is indeed September 8th, according to the civil calendar. Anyway, on August 26th, at the end of the 14th century, when Moscow was being threatened by the Turco-Mongol brutal conqueror, Timur, also known as Tamerlan, and everybody was shaking in fear because he was renowned for his brutality. He also called himself the Sword of Islam. Sort of, if you can imagine, an ISIS back then, So everyone was praying day and night in Moscow. All the churches were constantly open. And the great prince, Vasily, decided to bring this icon, which at that moment was in the city of Vladimir, not in Moscow, but Vladimir, to Moscow. And so the whole crowd, all of the city dwellers came and greeted the icon. And at that moment, and actually in that spot where the icon entered the city, there was a church built and a monastery emerged, the Sretinsky Monastery of today, that many of you will know if you've ever been to Moscow, and if you're Orthodox, it's one of those places where everybody will go, famous for its choir, for its the personality that is previously the abbot and now a bishop, Tikhon Shevkunov, known also for his book, Everyday Saints or something like that. I don't know what it's called in English. Anyway, so the long introduction is over, everybody. I'm talking about the feast of today. Let me get to it 1 second. We're back to the feast we're celebrating on the new calendar today. What have I done now? Which is the birthday of the Mother of God. I don't know why I'm not letting Juliet do this. Okay, this is the feast of today, and we are putting up the text. Just a brief reflection, everybody. I will get to your comments. By your nativity, O most pure Virgin, Joachim and Anna are freed from the reproach of childlessness. Now, I have to note that I found English translations that simply omit the word reproach here, and it just says are freed from childlessness. I found that on the OCA website, but the word reproach is very important here. They suffered shame, okay? They were freed from onidismu teknias, so поношение бесчадства. It was shame that they lived with, okay, that they were childless. Adam and Eve were freed from the corruption of death, and we, your people, freed from the guilt of sin, and celebrate and sing to you, the barren woman gives birth to the Theotokos and nourisher of our life. So I just want to draw our attention to this kind of shame that we might, on various levels, relate to, okay? First of all, from within our own heads, we suffer guilt, perhaps on a daily basis, that we didn't produce enough, that we didn't create enough, perhaps that we didn't make enough money, that we didn't check off all the items on our to-do list. You know, at the end of the day, we find ourselves, sort of gaping into this abyss of our should have dones, or, still need to do. And somehow, I think, perhaps also in the sense of perhaps our status and in our community or society, perhaps we're single or divorced, so we're plagued a little bit by this stigma of not having produced a family in the way we somehow expected ourselves to, or others expected us to. So all of these insufficiencies in our lives, or as we perceive them, might prevent us from living in the now. I know that this is a cliche to say, you should live in the now, but Christianity is very much a one day at a time program, and we are given an answer to this kind of human guilt and human shame that's not put upon us actually by God. Yes, it is the merely human feeling, according to human expectations, that we might constantly not really be grateful and living and realizing that this is what it is now. This is my life. It's not what if, thinking about the what ifs in the past, and what, that perhaps, my life will somehow begin or be more real later. If I could use another annoying phrase that's a cliche that everybody's seen somewhere at some point, it is said that the past is a mystery. Wait a minute. No. Okay, so I messed up the quote already. The past is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but the present is a gift. And that's why it's called a present, right? So I know it's annoying to repeat stuff like that. You see it on inspirational little, posters that have like a sunrise or something with a bird flying on them, right, Juliet? She has a lot of those. They're all over the place, probably. I don't know if that's true, though. So anyway, but it's true, right? It's true. That's why you've seen that on inspirational posters. Say, in the waiting room at the shrink's office. No, Juliet doesn't want to answer that question. So anyway, in the Our Father, actually, we're taught this approach. Okay, we're taught this approach both of how we deal with that gaping hole of guilt of for our insufficiencies, how we put it into God's hands. Okay, first of all, that we do live one day at a time. We say, "Give us this day our daily bread." Okay, and that's what we are focusing on. You know, that we're okay today. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Right? So that goes hand in hand. Having this attitude of gratitude for today and forgiving both ourselves and others for the rest of it, the stuff that perhaps we don't do enough or we don't do the right way, we haven't done the right way, but this is who we are today, and we stand or fall before God, and glory be to Him for all of it, right? Let's live today, okay, and be released, be liberated from the reproach of childlessness, yes, that we are brought that freedom thanks to all of these great works done for us in salvation history, including through the works and virtues and person, that beautiful person who was the Mother of God. And her mother, Anna, right? This wonderful Anna who was married most of her life to Joachim and considered, you know, sort of an embarrassment really to her whole clan, because she carried this stigma of childlessness. Like I said at the beginning of this little video, when most of you guys weren't here yet, I said that she carried this stigma that was considered to be a stamp of God's displeasure, that she didn't have any children. But, you know, unbeknownst to her and to her community, God was doing something with her in His own time. Yes, very late in life, He did send her a child. And this child had a very special role in all of history. Yes. So anyway, enough about this feast. Happy feast to you people, New Calendar people. I am taking down this text. Maybe I'll let Juliet do it because I can't manage to do this simple thing. I'm going to see who's with us. Hello, my friends. So look at all these people we have here, Juliet. And they have been talking about stuff, right? Irene, I already said hello to you. Good to see you from Greece. Lynn Tomlinson. Hi, Lynn. Wait, I have to take down the icon of the feast as well. You do that. We will talk about some of the other news, everybody. Okay, oh, there's Joachim and Anna. That looks a little bit like a cartoon depiction of them, right? But I know it's a certain style of icon. All right, well, these holy saints, may they pray for us, yes, and let's keep them close to our hearts. Take that down, Juliet, please. And now, I was going to weave in the word lodestar into my little introductory talk. Did anybody find themselves practicing the word lodestar or feeling slightly embarrassed that you might not have known the word before? If you don't know what I'm talking about, then good for you. Lynn Tomlinson is saying, good morning. I was going to say hello to you, Lynn. Sister and Juliet. She says, is that it? No, Juliet spells it with 2 L's. And I know, it's right. You can't get yourself to spell it with 2 L's. But if you try, you keep practicing, you'll find that you might be able to do it. Lynn says, I love today's reflection. So much guilt and inner critique going on inside. Yes, right? We all know about that, Lynn. Julie Lucky, hello from Front Royal, Virginia. Hi, Julie. Always good to have you with us. Bisrate Gabriel. I'm so sorry. I'm sure I am really pronouncing that wrong. Gabriel, good morning to you. Pete Ver. Hello, Pete. We know Pete already. Good morning, sister and Juliet. He spelled your name with two L's. Thank you, Pete. Despina Lachnaris. Hello, Despina, our old friend. Good morning, sister and Juliet. Chronio Pola for today's great feast. I celebrate my name day today. Well, happy name day to you, Despina. Phil Harwell. Good morning to you, Phil. Alexandra is with us. Hello. Brother Thomas. Hello, my brother. Michelle Kochov. Colin Goodridge are all saying good morning. Good morning to you, Colin from Toronto in North America, from the fastest growing city in North America. Is that a fact? All right, if you say so. Nightingale 1962. Good morning, Sister Vassa, Juliet, and fellow Zillions from Indianapolis, Indiana. That's a lot of Indian. Indianapolis, Indiana. Michelle is saying great reflection today. Thanks, Michelle. Stephen Anderson, good morning. Oh, wait, it has skipped down now. I've missed something. Gratitude is an amazingly helpful practice, says Lynn. Indeed. Amen, sister. Darius Toma, good morning from Romania. Ah, good morning, Darius. Impare bine that you are with us. I'm thinking that whatever I said makes sense to you. Ami saying also, as someone once said to me, if you spend your life with regrets, you should remember that if you could go back and change things, you would not be the person you are today. Of course, that makes a lot of sense to me, Ami. Thanks for that. And Lynn agrees that that's brilliant, Ami. David Bollock, good morning from rainy Guadalajara. Am I pronouncing it correctly? David is with us from Mexico, I believe. Does everybody know about the news that, to follow up on something we talked about last week, indeed, the Ecumenical Patriarchate has issued a statement and has gone ahead and appointed two exarchs to Ukraine, to Kiev. So we might get to that if anyone's interested. If not, please keep in mind that our very popular audio podcast of this week, we do have subscribers to our audio podcast. Let's put up the link to our Patreon page. And if you want to subscribe, you will be more informed both on various, issues of prayer life, of some psychological challenges we might have in this day, dealing with a 24-hour news cycle, dealing with fear of economic insecurity, those types of grown-up things, that everybody has to deal with at some point or other, but also on the topic of church feasts, their history, their theological meaning, their inspirational value for us on a daily basis, theological questions that are very basic to all Christians, the meaning of the cross, of the incarnation, of the ascension, frequently asked questions by, say, people new to the faith, like praying to the Theotokos, how, why we do that. Also, however, topics of church history and church administration and current issues. The one we did this week, everybody, is what is autocephaly? We did a podcast that has been popular about what is autocephaly. Subscribe here if you want to learn more about the not always uncomplicated issues involved here, okay? So the two new exarchs, what is an exarch, you might ask? Well, that's a good question, but the two new exarchs appointed by the Patriarch of Constantinople to what is considered by Moscow to be its canonical territory, and thus this appointment of exarchs. Can you say exarchs 3 times fast? I can't even say it once, apparently. Let's have their pictures up. These two exarchs coming from North America to Ukraine, but they're both Ukrainian. Archbishop Daniel, we see him here, of Pamphilon from the United States, of the Orthodox Ukrainian Church, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the jurisdiction in America, and Bishop Hilarion Rudnik of Edmonton, Canada. So I know we have at least one Canadian with us today. Both these hierarchs are Ukrainian, and they are Orthodox hierarchs of the Ecumenical Patriarchate in North America, and now they are exarchs. Now, the word exarch is a title that has actually within our canonical codex various meanings. Okay, you can find the word exarch, for example, in Canon 17 of the Council of Chalcedon of 451, where it actually means patriarch. Also in Canon 9 of Chalcedon, it also refers actually to a patriarch. However, it has had different meanings. It simply means, it literally means either author or leader, something like this, like a leader, or a primate. But in the tradition of the second millennium, anyway, there are three usages that are most common of this word. So, in the case of these two hierarchs being sent to somehow represent the Patriarch of Constantinople in Ukraine, they are appointed, okay, in this case, exarch means it's an auxiliary or titular bishop. This is one of the three meanings that's most common. They are auxiliary or titular bishops appointed to be hierarchically active for a group of faithful not yet organized enough to be what they are to become, church administratively speaking. So this is the way the Patriarch of Constantinople or Istanbul is seeing their appointment. But usually an exarch, not usually, but in other cases, an exarch has meant, yes, a deputy of a patriarch who holds authority over other bishops in an area, but he is not himself a patriarch. But just to confuse you further, exarch can also simply be a priest or even a deacon who has been sent by his bishop as a representative of that bishop in some capacity. So somehow, even though literally the word doesn't mean representative, but it somehow usually is connected to a hierarch representing or being a deputy of someone higher up, okay? Namely a patriarch. So this is generating, this action of the Patriarch of Constantinople is generating a pretty strong reaction, even though I think officially anyway it's been, how do I say this, not too extreme, but separate spokespersons are being quite extreme about reacting to this and calling the position of the Patriarch of Constantinople even heretical or papist somehow, that, he's imagining himself to be the Pope of the East. But the issues here, everybody, are deeply embedded in church history. We are bearing the cross of history. We do have the reality that the dust never settled on this whole issue of territorial disputes, and also the process by which something like either autonomy or autocephaly is to be either requested or granted, and by whom. And so we did an audio podcast on this where we get more into detail and hopefully present the case of both sides, why it's understandable from both sides of this issue, yes, of why it's contested and why our actual canonical codex does offer, and also church history offers both sides some points to argue with, all right? If you look at some of the canons I've already mentioned, these are the canons upon which Constantinople would base its approach to its own role in Orthodoxy as a higher sort of appeals instance for appeal. So you want to look at Canon 9 of Chalcedon to see that why one would claim such a thing. One can also see that in Canon 17, like I said, of Chalcedon, also Canon 28 of Chalcedon, all right? On the other hand, one can see principles within those already mentioned canons, especially 17 of Chalcedon, or one can go earlier and see the principle that political realities change who is considered, you know, primary, or say who has the primacy of honor, or even who becomes boss or bishop for, I shouldn't say over, I should say for a certain local church. It is political realities that do affect change in the church's boundaries as far as diocesan boundaries go. So this is both in support. See, I think that one must understand both sides here, even though it's not like we're going to decide this, obviously. But one can have understanding for both sides because from that standpoint, one can argue, okay, well, if Ukraine is politically independent, then there is a basis for the church to be entirely independent there. Okay, because the political boundaries have changed. But one can say, by that same token, well, the Patriarch of Constantinople was primus inter pares and had that role because he was the patriarch of the capital of the Byzantine Empire. Is that city now, is it even called Constantinople? No. Is it the capital of any empire today? No. So if you're going to argue that, you might shoot yourself in the foot by people saying, well, you know, that reality has changed, so probably that role has changed. I'm not actually interested in, I'm not interested in supporting or arguing this from either side specifically. I'm interested because I'm interested in canon law, and I've studied it, and I'm trying to show that there is credence to both sides. There is weight to the canonical arguments being made, but there is a lot of other stuff that determines how these things work throughout church history, right? And it's very often not according to the letter of the canons, yes? Autocephaly for my own church, the Russian Orthodox Church, my beloved Russian Orthodox Church, was not granted according to the book. We proclaimed our own independence as a church in 1448 by electing and consecrating our first metropolitan without the blessing of Constantinople, our mother church, in 1448. Some of you will know the history. Some of you have listened to the podcast. But it was only 141, everybody, not just 140 years later. You might have thought it was 140 years, but I am here to tell you it's 141 years later that Constantinople blessed Russian autocephaly. Not only did it bless Russian autocephaly, but agreed to elevating it to a patriarchate, because Patriarch Jeremiah of Constantinople visited Moscow, and that was the year 1589 that the Moscow Patriarchate was born, and the first patriarch, Hiob, was consecrated. All right? A little bit of history, everybody. Is anybody asleep? Juliet, she can sleep with her eyes open. I know, I've already noticed that. All right, let's take down the picture of these two hierarchs who are now exarchs appointed by Patriarch Bartholomew. You know what? Enough of this, right? Let's lighten the mood a little bit and tell you a new story. Is everybody into this? Has everybody seen this story? It's very endearing. This dog in eastern China, you could see the video if you look up dog steals wallet. All right? I'm just changing the topic so we can relax a little bit. It's adorable. There's a group of men playing cards in this little shop, and the man has dropped his wallet, and so these two dogs stealthily walk by, and the smaller dog takes the wallet and carries it outside. And then actually the police discovered where the dog lives, and the dog ended up having, I think, even a stash of wallets. Maybe I'm embellishing the story, but this apparently is a dog who's a thief. So what do you know? See, I I never really liked dogs. I'm gonna lose like half my viewership now, but I'm not a dog person. And in fact, when I go on my power walk, well, it doesn't happen anymore because I tend to go to the gym. But for years, I really did a power walk here on the canal. I was bitten thrice by dogs. Maybe it means they know that I'm a bad person. I don't know. But dogs don't like me, and it's mutual. So I want to tell you that we have discovered another side to dogs. They're thieves. Okay? So, and I've heard all the arguments for uh, dogs, but I think that this might be, look, I'm pointing in the other direction. I should point in this direction. There's additional evidence, everybody, that they can't be trusted. All right. So let's take that down, and we're going to wrap this up. Maybe I'll have a record short video, which is good, because maybe, I don't know, maybe that's better for people who want to watch later. All right, everybody, let's see who else is talking to us. Cynthia is here. Oh, hello, Cynthia. She writes, ho, overslept. Hello, I guess you mean. Troy Spiller's with us. Hello, Troy Spiller. And he says, unashamed uniate here. Well, we call them Greek Catholics where I'm from. No, it's not true. Actually, where I'm from, we call them uniates, but I don't. I love your ability, says Troy, to span divides between jurisdictions and provide commentary and education that all can receive great fruit from. Thank you for the service to the churches. Well, thank you, Troy. You know, trying to take the middle ground nowadays, I mean, think about the whole, the coverage of the Trump White House, right? If you want to take the middle ground in that, you're going to be sidelined, usually, right? People want for their news outlets or whatever they follow to sort of support their anger. If you try to take that away from people, I think they sort of feel either robbed or betrayed. That's what I find. I don't think that's in the long run going to win out. I think that even though the ratings go up today I mean, I love Stephen Colbert, I do, but I don't really, I don't, I just can't accept, maybe because I'm an intellectual, but I just can't accept seeing an issue always only in black and white, not seeing the gray zones. But I think that, the Jimmy Fallon road of trying to stay a little bit more in the middle is going to win out in the long run as we all get tired of the polarization, of the polarizing effects of what we have now. Then everybody really just wants to wallow on their own side and, just be cooking in that soup all the time. Cynthia's saying here the sun is just coming up in California. All right, well, it's always good to see you, Cynthia. Again, Troy, thank you for your nice comment. Bisrate Gabrielle, good morning, Sister Vassa, from Texas. And Juliet, he says, spelling your name with one L. Sorry, Juliet. But perplexingly, Juliet spells Juliet with two L's. By the way, everybody, Juliet and I are going to give a talk. Well, she's not giving the talk, but she's accompanying me. I have a talk here in Vienna in one of the cafes. A group of Greek Catholics is coming from, I want to say, the United States, or are they coming from Canada? From the United States. And I'll be giving a talk there on Monday, September 17th. So I don't think anybody actually joins us for this show from Vienna, but I'm also going to the US of A. Let's put that banner up, Julia. I have a tour, a speaking tour coming up, and we're adding more talks as the days go by and some invitations come in. So I think we should call it the Make Making Orthodoxy Great Again tour. Does anybody like that? That's a joke we made before, just to be funny. And then, of course, people write in, certain people. They're like, what do you mean, sister? Holy Orthodoxy has always been great. It's like, it's a joke. Relax, okay? I think it's a funny little joke. So anyway, October 6th, everybody. And you don't have to write this down, obviously, or whatever, whether or not you're interested, because we do have a speaking schedule available to you here at coffeewithsistervassa.com. Visit our website, everybody, okay? Check out our gift shop as well. We need your support, if I can just plug that awkwardly here, even though that's not what I'm talking about, right? So just I want to mention to you, in case you might want to start thinking about whether you're in the area and you can come and to one of my talks, all right? In Princeton, New Jersey, I will be on October the 6th. Oh, I have to alert you as well that there seems to be a problem at the website that shifts some of these dates by one day. And we haven't really gotten to the bottom of the problem, because in my speaking schedule, we see from here the proper dates. Correct, Juliet? And Zhenya has confirmed to me that yes, he thinks that somehow on Wix, it's adjusting the dates according to which time zone you're looking at it in. And that's not doing us any favors, because it's throwing off the dates. So before the actual date, please double check with us. You can write to us here or on my Facebook page, all right, Vassa Laren, because that's my name, or the Coffee with Sister Vassa Facebook page, okay, where you can follow us, even though they say not many people are following Facebook anymore. Whatever, we're still on there. So October 6th, Princeton, New Jersey. It's the All Who Sorrow, it's Joy of All Who Sorrow, Juliet Bachiro, All Who Sorrow Orthodox Church. So I'll be at that church. It's the Joy of Mother of God of All, Joy of All Who Sorrow Church at 6 p.m. All right. Then October 9th, October 9th in New York, New York. All right. So start spreading the news. I'm going to be a part of it in New York, New York, October 9th at Fordham University, 6 p.m. There's a women's panel. Part of a women's panel about women in the Orthodox Church. So it's going to be very interesting discussion with prominent female theologians and me. So Fordham University, check out the details. October 9th in New York City. Then October 14th, that is the old calendar feast of the protection of the Mother of God. I will be at St. Michael's Orthodox Church in Binghamton, New York. All right, the details are still getting finalized. But it will be at 2 p.m. Binghamton, New York, October 14th. That is a Sunday. St. Michael's Orthodox Church. Be there if you can. And then October 16th in Rahway, New Jersey, at 7 p.m. St. Thomas the Apostle Byzantine Catholic Church. So there's one for the Greek Catholics as well. Then I'm going off to Ohio, even though we might have more talks in the tri-state area. October 20th in Fairlawn, Ohio at 9:30 a.m. That's a weekend, I suppose. Our Lord Orthodox Church, I believe that is a Romanian Orthodox Church, October 20th, Fairlawn, Ohio. Then October 21st, Notre Dame College, South Euclid, Ohio at 3 p.m. All right, so there you have it. Check it out. I'll also be selling our USB sticks and the book if we have any left by the time. Usually the books sell out at a live event, I have to say, because it's cheaper to get them there. My little, show us the book, Juliet, if you could. The Daily Reflections book. You know that the postage costs a lot if you order the book from our gift shop, even though I encourage you to do so, because actually we're coming to the end of this second printing that we did. Maybe we'll print up, because it is a self-published book, maybe we'll print up a third batch, but you might want to think about getting the book if you don't have one. It is available on Amazon.com in electronic form as an ebook. Reflections with Morning Coffee, 365 daily devotions, I forget what it's called, for busy people, all right? Attractive little book, think about getting it. And we'll also be selling, like I said, our video materials and audio materials on these USB sticks and cute little albums. Let's show us an album. Show us the Vespers one. Oh, this is okay. Prayer and Spirituality, for example. See, you get this little album, and the USB stick is in this slot inside, like this. This is how you get it. It's a nice gift idea also for back to school time. And a list of the audio podcasts, for example, on this one, but we have different ones. This is the Prayer and Spirituality. You listen to something, when you're on the treadmill, as I like to say, or you're stuck in traffic, or you're waiting at the dentist's office, like living a comparative life. There's a topic we did on prayer and spirituality. Going to confession. How's that for a topic? Making scripture part of my life. Seeing my sins and not judging. The Mother of God and us. What is obedience? There's an important topic, right, for today. Sometimes people don't know what that's supposed to mean, especially for lay people, right? Does prayer really work? That was a popular one. All right, so anyway, dealing with rejection and failure, stuff like that. Check it out. You might want to get a USB stick like that so you can listen and be inspired, hopefully. All right, my friends, what else are you saying to me? I just wanted to remind you that I'll be in the States, and if anybody out there is interested in me speaking at their parish, well, it's now is the time to write to us if you are interested, okay? Because since I'm already in the States, it's a good time to have me visit your parish. It's also good for our little online mission to spread the word about it, all right? Because then you don't have to be concerned with getting me across the ocean, which is, of course, expensive. Someone else is already paying for that. Actually, Fordham University is for this women's panel that I'm going to be a part of. Anyway, now's the time to do it if you're interested. So, Brother Thomas is saying it's not only about... Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Are you people saying the sound is low? Sister, is it my computer? Wait a second. Paul Onufri is here. Archbishop Daniel is the Archbishop of my jurisdiction, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church of the USA. Okay, thank you. Darius Toma, we can talk about it next time. Immaculate Conception. Darius is talking about Immaculate Conception, okay? Immaculate Conception. Okay, I have to finish this up. Sorry, it's too late in the show for me to begin that long topic. And we did talk about it on our long list of audio podcasts, Darius Toma. Why don't you check out, if you could, let's put up the other link, Juliet. Here, everybody, please sign up to the audio podcast. Just try it, okay? You'll like it. Could we just have one of these up? This is the link. Thanks, Juliet. This is the link to Patreon, my Patreon page. Okay, please check it out. You will find questions to all these answers. You will find answers to all these questions at the podcast, okay? In one of them. We have 200 and what? 18, 19 of them? Yeah. Brother Thomas is saying, I visited Ukraine last month. I loved it so much. Lynn is saying, the podcast on autocephaly was very informative and timely. My goddaughter and I did lots of texting about the issue before I heard it. Okay, it's good to hear, Lynn. Janice? Oh, Janice is with us again. I think that all of the icons are beautiful, but I grew up Methodist and the churches were pretty bare. Janice, I'm sorry, by the way, that I pronounced your name Janice last week. I don't know why. Thanks for pointing out that it's like Janis Joplin. Despina is saying, one second. How their placement together is heart-shaped. Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. I haven't kept up with your comments. So Juliana is with us from Serbia. Hello. And Janice is reminding us that she's from Buckingham, Virginia. Okay. Okay. Sorry, everybody. This is what happens when I try to navigate this myself. Marcy is here. Hello, Marcy. Have I said hello to you already? It's good to see you, my friend. Lynn is saying, Marcy, I'm sure that's what happened to my Juliet. And now it shows, okay, you guys are having issues with the spelling. That's fine. You can figure it out. Paula Nufri, we already saw your comment. Okay, everybody, I am wrapping this up. Please bear with me. Don't forget, I'm coming to the US of A in October, so check out my speaking schedule at our website. And Ami is saying that the volume is low. All right, I don't know. Am I not speaking loud enough today? Lynn is saying goodbye. Goodbye, Lynn. Julie is saying that her dogs will be boycotting me from now on. Sorry. Marcy's like, dogs of the universe, beware. Brother Thomas, it's like, is commenting on the sound. Sorry, everybody, if this was quiet today. Excited to catch you at one of the stops of your upcoming US tour, says Marcy. Laura Divini is with us. Hi, Laura. Will these events be filmed, videotapes, and reshown here or on another site? Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Thespina, I have to go, Zillions. Have a great week. All right, everybody. Bye. Hello, Devin is saying. It's a blessing to see you this morning. You too. All right, Darius, thank you a lot for everything, Sister Vassa. All right, so everybody, thank you for showing up. I'll see you next week, same time, same place. I thank Juliet for her help. Please sign up for the audio podcast. We do need your support. And check out my speaking schedule of the upcoming US tour. Okay, I love you people. A happy feast to you, celebrating a feast today of the Nativity of the Mother of God. All right, goodbye.